Hello and welcome to video 11 of phase 3 and create. Today is all about aspiring and it's called Goals with Soul. First of all, I want you to grab your notebook and I want you to think about something that went south very quickly. Perhaps it was a project, either at work or at home, or maybe it was a task or a responsibility that didn't go as you wanted it to. So I want you to write down how you felt. So initially you would have gotten your hopes up high, you would have had expectations and ideals, and then boom, it didn't go according to plan and everything was dashed. You were really surprised about how you felt. Perhaps it was turned off, embarrassed, disappointed, sad. Maybe it was even bloody angry. Maybe it was anxious, disappointed. Could have been annoyed and frustrated. Could have been empty. You just did not feel how you would have liked to have felt had your project or the task turned out as you had dreamt it, planned it, imagined it. Okay, so once you've done that, I want you to recall some times when you felt the way that you were hoping you would feel. So thinking perhaps about a project or a task or a meeting or some responsibility that just went textbook perfect. Yes, it was a day that you had been dreaming about and there was this rush of gratitude when it all worked out. And you just felt this wave of relief when you got to where you were going with whatever it is that you were doing. Perhaps there was a flood of love when you made the connection. Perhaps you just felt positive. Okay, so over the course of these 3 months, you've heard me say on numerous occasions about really tuning into how you feel about something, like really experiencing the emotion in the body. This feeling and tuning in helps to guide us and to anchor us and to keep us connected to the feelings that we are seeking. I want you to refer back to the wellness wheel or the wheel of life, whichever one you completed, that occurred in the first phase. Using each of the domains as the focus, I want you to start to identify how you want to feel when you're living out each of those domains fully. And I want you to record what those feelings are. And let's go for elevated feelings, elevated emotions. So something perhaps bigger than happy or sad, but perhaps that is the feeling that you had. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is actually look beyond some of those, really well used emotions and feelings. And perhaps what you can also do is record where in your body that you feel them. Perhaps it's a fluttering in your belly. Perhaps it's this sense of it being heartfelt. There's nothing right or wrong here about where it's felt in your body. It is an exercise for you to really tune in with your soul. Okay, so this is how it's going to unfold for this week. So I want you to think about each of those domains, either on the wellness wheel or the wheel of life, and what they would look like if you were living them fully. I want you to come back to the feeling that you've associated with the wellness wheel domains. So for example, perhaps the social domain on the wellness wheel, you might have associated with the feeling of love or connection. In thinking about how that might look if you were living this fully, it might look like date nights with your partner, or it might look like catching up with friends in person rather than via text message or phone. Or it might be spending some uninterrupted time with your kids each week, a non-negotiable. So imagine what it is that someone would see if they were a fly on the wall and they're looking at you fully living each of these domains on the wellness wheel or the wheel of life. And if they were looking at the social one from the wellness wheel, what is it that they would see happening, occurring in front of them? So once you've done that, the next step that I would like you to do is think about, what would it sound like? So again, if someone was a fly on the wall, what are some of the words or the phrases that they might hear being uttered? So using the example of the social domain from the wellness wheel, if what we would see is perhaps date nights with our partner each week, or perhaps it's uninterrupted time with our children weekly, perhaps it's catching up with friends in person rather than over text messages and phone calls, you might hear things such as, "I'd love to catch up with you, when can we do it?" Or you might say or hear, "Let's schedule our date night next week. I've got a great idea to do." Or if it's with your children, it might be, asking questions. So what is it that you've been doing, on your weekends, with your friends? Or what are some of the movies that you'd like to go and see? So that real interaction, that real feeling, just this imagination of what this will look like and sound like. So you might be wondering, why the hell are we doing this when this whole week is about goals with souls? It's because I could actually get you setting some SMART goals, as in specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. And we will be adding some of those components to the goals when we set them next week. But SMART goals on their own are pretty bloody dry and crunchy. And I don't know about you, but some of the SMART goals, when I don't really feel them, I just don't feel connected to them. So I want you to have goals that you are connected to, that give you the feeling that you are seeking. Goals that mean something to you and that will keep you motivated. Now, you may have heard of Danielle Laporte. If you haven't, Google her name. She's all about this feeling into our goals and things like that. And in the words of Danielle Laporte, we're going to take a break, take a hot bath, walk around the block, do some kitchen disco, have a good cry, call a friend, make an orgasm happen, and we'll stretch. You've just done some good soul searching and surfacing. And before we jump into the next phase of writing out your goals, it's a really good idea to let yourself pause and integrate. Be gentle with yourself. Your truth is rooting more deeply into your cells. Let your ideas percolate and even infiltrate your thinking and the way you are viewing yourself and the actions in your life. So take a break for an hour or two or a couple of days, because I'll be here when you get back. And Danielle says, and please do come back. Don't stay away for too long. We're now in the valley where ideas meet actions and dreams are made to manifest. The view is stunning from here. There's miles of desires. So your work this week is to do the exercises about reflecting back to your wellness wheel or the wheel of life and getting absolutely crystal clear on what you want to feel, how it will look, and how it will sound when you are living large in domains of your life. Next week, we will set our goals, and then it's over to you and being unstoppable after that. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.